welcome to another cost of living crisis video with myself, Jack, and Will.
Thank you. It's good to be back again.
You always feel like we've been somewhere. You feel somehow, how have we seem to be parity today? Usually I'm a lot taller than you.
Yeah,
You've got some platforms on.
Yeah.
I feel very small. Right, we are going to talk about, we always talk about stuff that's difficult. That's the point of these cost of living crisis videos, to kind of normalise it in a way that's okay to ask for help. Normalising asking for help, not normalising the crisis, because it shouldn't be normal. But what we want to talk about this week, Will, is how we've been reading reports about people giving up pets, about people giving up social events, they have to, that cost money.
Yeah.
And the impact that can have, yes, it can ease your bank account, but it can also be a huge detriment to your mental health. So first, let's just explore that about why it is important to engage with the community at a stressful time.
Well, it's absolutely critical not to isolate yourself, because by disengaging with the community, you're beginning to spend more time in your own head, and that's not a good place to be. And what you perhaps don't recognise, or maybe you do, that actually social engagements, going to your book clubs or going to the pub, or whatever it might be, meeting the person in a park, that has huge positive things around your mental health and your well-being. And if you cut yourself off from that, actually you're making the whole thing worse. And I think perhaps people may not think that has value. They think, I can just give up going to the chess club or whatever it is. It's a couple of quid saved. Actually, there's a lot more that goes on at the chess club than just chess, you know what I mean? And there's interaction. So it's really important you don't cut yourself off, and that's really the message, isn't it? Is to make sure you stay connected, because otherwise it's a dark tunnel to go down.
Well, that's why we have such a prominent social aspect to our cafe, Will. So, hey, look, let's be honest. The person has given up their chess club, their pet, because they can't afford it. But we're saying, try not to. So how can anybody, this is a rhetorical question obviously, but how can you afford not to give something up that you can't give something up? What's the option?
Well, one of the things is that maybe the people at the club are the people you reach out to and talk to. And they might just say, guys, actually, we're going to have a whip round for whatever the subscription is. Or they're going to say, that's okay. It will feel awkward, but if they're really good friends, and they probably are, and that's why you go regularly, then reach out to them. I don't think they will. I know they won't have a problem, and that will alleviate the embarrassment or the difficulty, because actually you've got to get past that.
Which is it? We say that with a bit of a glib nature, but it is one of the hardest things to do, is admit that you're struggling and in trouble. And for sure, we're standing here giving you this advice, but there's been times in both of our lives where we've not jumped at that chance to go, hey, I'm struggling, what can you do to help? But Will, it is really, really important, and now I've said this in many of the videos, now is a gooder time than any to say, hey, look, I'm struggling, because so many people are. But it is a huge barrier, isn't it? It's a really, really difficult thing to, one, admit to yourself that you're struggling, but two, let alone admit to somebody else.
Yeah.
But, we're a testament of people's generosity as well, because we've been here for over 10 years, and we're getting more donations than ever before. Yeah. So, as difficult as it is well worth to good friends or a social group to say, hey, look, I'm struggling. It doesn't have to be to everyone. It could be just the person who's running it.
I think the thing is, the person you can trust. And I think the answer is, you think about that person, you go, I'm going to speak to that person. And choose somebody who you can trust. It may not be a family member. It could be somebody you meet or you get to know. Whomever that person is, that's the person you need to reach out to. And I guarantee they will go, I'm just so glad you shared that with me. Of course we can do the things that we need to make it better. The elevated feel you will feel is enormous, because you'll do it, you'll eat better, you'll sleep better, and you'll think better, and all the critical things.
You'll still have that social engagement.
Yeah, but find that person. You will have somebody that you can go to, and as I say, it could be somebody who you know from work, it could be somebody from family, or it could be anybody, somebody you trust, and that's really important. And they will really appreciate that. They will go, wow, what a privileged conversation to be had. When people are disclosed to me, yes, it can be hard, but I go, so I must have really come across as somebody who's trustworthy, because I am, and they will really appreciate. And they will really appreciate that. And actually, that that's a really, really good conversation to be had. So we're saying, have that conversation.
It's something that makes the cost of living crisis so much worse, and you won't see this on the news, you won't read about it in the newspapers, you won't hear anybody talking about it, but actually us struggling and battling on impacts the cost of living crisis and the damage that's doing to our mental health of ourselves and our children and all that kind of, whoever our dependents are, is hugely damaging, and that will go on even when the cost of living crisis ends and prices come down. The effects this will have on so many people just because they've had to struggle,
the anxiety,
is going to be vast,
and that can stay with you for many years or even life.
But we say, if you would like to, if you are in the Stafford area and you want to come down to Cafe 43, we've got the Crafty Hands on a Tuesday, Will.
Woodworking.
We've got the woodworking on a Tuesday. Yeah. We've got bread making on a Friday. We're looking at doing other things as well during the week and the weekends when we do little events. So they're just little things that you can come along to for free. But it really does pay to engage, and I've been in that space where I've cut myself off, and it's almost instant, the relief and the feeling you get when you engage with other people. If they are the right people, you might hate me and will. So if that's the case, go somewhere else. Thank you very much, Will.
Thank you. It's good. That's a particularly a difficult one, but a good one to talk about.
Really, really hard. It's probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do. But if you can admit to somebody that you're struggling, you would be amazed at the support they can give you. Thank you very much for watching. As ever, I say, like and share these videos. It's super important. This isn't Stafford specific, this is global. This isn't why we've got this here, but it just helps. Thank you very much for watching. As always, we shall see you next time. Goodbye.